But right now, the latest update still as of 4 a.m. So still showing signs of a Category 4 hurricane, but it's a weaker Category 4. It's less organized. It's more lopsided. That is because it is interacting with that landfall, or not that landfall. It is interacting with the land. So Jamaica, of course, is going to interact with that. Land creates friction. Friction creates wind shear, and wind shear weakens the storms. But we're also anticipating a pocket of wind shear over the open waters in the Caribbean that do weaken the storm. However, the National Hurricane Center has upped the guidance to a Category 2 at landfall for the Yucatan Peninsula and possibly a Category 1 at landfall for northern coast, the northeastern coast of Mexico, and possibly South Texas. So that is what we are really focusing on today, is what our impacts will be. I do want to mention, though, here's that wind shear. It's showing up right here. Now, there is a little bit of a caveat. We have to see kind of this trough and this high develop in order to get the stronger wind shear. We still see a chance of wind shear in the Gulf of Mexico. However, looks what happens right as the forecast starts to take it to Category 1. That's when we start to see some lower wind shear in the path of the storm as it does head toward land. Saharan dust is also in the forecast. You see this plume over the Gulf of Mexico. It does get kind of wrapped into the storm, and that drier air should work to keep the storm on the weaker side. It suppresses tropical activity. We also just have a lot of Gulf heat, so fuel is the warm sea surface temperatures, the warm ocean water, and we've got that. So the dust is still in our forecast. We'll see a couple of waves of it moving through, producing some allergy-like symptoms. But your weather impact for this storm is going to be heavy rain. That is trending higher. So right now, it still is very dependent on where the storm makes landfall. Further south, almost no rain. Further north, some very heavy rain. So damaging wind is trending higher as well. We're getting into the chance of having some at least tropical storm wind gusts here in the coastal bend. Dangerous surf is trending higher, and this is actually the one we're most confident in right now. Tornadoes are possible as well, especially in the outer band. So it is, if it's too far south, that will wind up with almost little to no rain, actually. So farther south, the closer landfall to Tampico would mean less rain. If it skirts up the coast, like a few of the models are trying to show it would do, that would keep it further north, and that would produce a lot of rainfall for the coastal bend. So it's still kind of too uncertain to make a call at this point, but you do see from the National Hurricane Center the probability of tropical storm force winds. It's still low right now for the coastal bend, but we're just barely reaching that landfall. So even at the Category 1 strength, it's still on about the 40 to 50% chance of tropical storm winds, because there is still just a lot of uncertainty in the Gulf of Mexico when it comes to the strength of the high that's developing to our north. Additionally, when it comes to the wind shear and the Saharan dust, all of those are still a lot of factors that are going to come into play. Regardless, when to board up, tropical storm strength wind, that starts at 39 miles per hour. That's kind of a gray area. It kind of depends on your home and what you think is necessary. But by 74 mile per hour, that's Category 1 hurricane. You would want to board up. This weekend, we do have a weather impact alert for that high surf. That is what we are confident in seeing here in the coastal bend at this point. The forecast is still changing, however, but that we're pretty confident in. No matter where any of these spaghetti models are, no matter which one the Beryl would follow, we would wind up with elevated surf here in the coastal bend. So that's why we're pretty confident in that. On our lakes camera this morning, it is 78 degrees. Wind is out the south-southeast. We've got hot temperatures in store today and any day leading up to the impacts from Beryl. So 112 degrees, your peak heat index. And your 7-day forecast, you see red. That's going to be something new. We're highlighting alert days when the weather is going to impact you the most. Right now, this is mostly just for beach locations, coastal locations that could be dealing with the chance of coastal flooding, and then of course some dangerous surf and rip currents. But the 4th of July is looking nice, just hot. We have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday to really start preparing for the potential impact from Beryl. Barbie.